So what if I told you guys that this snake right here is actually older than me? Well, believe it or not, it actually is. So stick around. I'm going to share a story about this snake right here, as well as how I actually got this snake myself. So stick around. My name is Nick Pulaski. Growing up, I have always had a passion for wildlife, and with that passion, along with my passion of filmmaking, I get taken on some amazing adventures creating wildlife content, getting up close with a variety of incredible animals. So come follow along as I pursue my goals of educating, inspiring, exploring, and conserving wildlife, all while having fun, seeing the beauty in our natural world. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here today. As you can see, I am holding an adult ball python here, and she is a big gal, that's for sure. Now, I did sex this snake. It is actually a female, so I'm going to be referring to this girl as a golden girl because she is an older snake herself. She's actually older than me. Now, I'm 26. This snake right here is actually 27 years old, which is crazy. So this snake actually came to me in a rehoming situation from someone that was moving out of state, and they just couldn't take this snake with them along with the other snake that they had as well. They had two ball pythons, both 27 years of age, and it was just such a treat to actually see that because, I mean, you can see that she is still well taken care of and everything. No issues with her whatsoever. Really just came it down to a situation where they were happy to take them with them, but they would rather them go to a proper home as well because they wanted to move on past taking care of these two snakes. So I offered my services to them, and I said I would be happy to take them in terms of fostering them till I could find them a proper home. I did find the male a proper home. I am looking for a proper home for this girl, which I think I may have found, but we'll see down the line. That is all in the works. So this girl will, at the end of her day, live out her years in a proper home as well. So I'm kind of the gateway between her old owner and a new owner. So basically we're going to take well care of her. We've been taking good care of her for the past 2 months now here. And I'm just ecstatic to share this girl with you guys because she comes with a really cool story because she is 27 years old. Now put that in perspective. Like I said, I'm 26. So this snake is literally older than me. The snake is literally from the 90s. So born in 95, it is absolutely insane to know that this snake is a golden girl herself. She's just really incredible. And I also wanted to put it in perspective too, if you guys are even thinking about getting a ball python, or if you guys have ball pythons or reptiles in general, they can live a very long time. So the average age range for a captive ball python is 20 to 30 years. By the way, if you guys are hearing scratching and scraping in the background, that is my tortoise Daisy. She is just wanting to move all about right now. She's trying to push a log over right now, and she's just a little turbo, that's for sure. So thank you, Daisy, for making all this ruckus, but maybe she'll cool down in a little bit. But regardless, getting back to the video here at hand. So this snake, like I said, was basically born in 95, which is absolutely crazy if you think of it. And I wanted to put that in perspective for you guys, whether if you're thinking about getting a ball python, just got a ball python, or have a bunch of ball pythons for many years like I have. Now, and the perspective is that these guys in captivity can live 20 to 30 years on average. There are going to be a few oddballs, obviously, but if all their needs are met properly, you are going to get a happy, healthy snake with a good longevity of life from 20 to 30 years on average. So this girl is definitely getting up there in age, but she does not seem to be slowing down whatsoever. I mean, she's definitely chilling out, but that's common for ball pythons, but she's very alert, moving all around, eats well, everything like that. No problems with her whatsoever, or the other ball python that I had as well too that came along with her. So it's just really cool to see that among older elderly snakes, if well taken care of, these things can happen. Now 20 to 30 years in captivity is no joke. In the wild, actually, these guys live 10 to 20 years on average due to there being a prey item for a lot of predators out there in Africa. So these guys actually live a lot longer, sometimes double or triple in captivity than they would in the wild. So I thought this was a very cool example and gives good perspective to put inside your guys' head if you are thinking about getting a pet reptile in general, because these guys do live long lives, that's for sure. They're very hardy and they do live a very long time. Most reptiles do on average. So it's definitely something really cool to see. So let me tell you a story about this snake really quick. So let's take it all the way back to 1995. So the guy that I actually got these snakes from, he has two boys. So at the time they were about 10 and 12 years old, and they would go to pet stores all the time, and they loved to look at the snakes. They constantly were saying, can we get a snake? Can we get a snake? I really think these snakes are cool. So the other thing too was if one boy got one, the other boy really wanted one. So it wasn't just going to be a one snake household. Both boys really wanted a ball python. So they were really proving to their father that they could take care of the snake. They were doing their research, everything like that. And lo and behold, one day they both came home with a ball python each from the pet store. So these guys came from a pet store, and they were basically super involved with these snakes. They love these snakes to death. They love taking them out. They love handling them, which ball pythons are absolutely fantastic for. That is a reason they are the most popular snake in the pet trade for sure. I mean, these snakes are fantastic, super mellow and chill attitudes, as you can see as well too. So that's what happened, is these snakes came home with these two boys. Everyone loved these snakes. All right, so now we're going to fast forward 10 years. So 10 years went by, and the two boys, they went off to college. So who got stuck with the two snakes? The parents. So, which was totally fine in terms of these two parents. They were super cool with it. They were fine with the snakes. They had a whole schedule planned out. These snakes ate every other week. Totally fine. Everything was great. Their setups were great. Everything like that. Nothing was wrong with that there. They each had their own individual setup. Everything was good. But yeah, it ended up falling on the parents because the two kids went off to college. So I want to pause the story there right for a second, because obviously this is one of those situations where it works out well for the snake, obviously, because the snake can continue living where it's already living at and doesn't have to go to, say, like a rescue, or it doesn't get dumped or anything like that or neglected. The snake lives on a healthy, happy life. Now, that's not always going to be the case, right? Because the kid moves off to school, and what happens to the snake? Parents either get rid of it, neglect it, whatever, and the problems arise that way. So that's always going to be an issue, and it's something that you want to make sure that everyone is on board with this animal when you guys get this, because it is a lifelong commitment, right? So you want to make sure that you guys have a plan in place for when your child gets older and goes off to school or wherever they go or travel or whatever they're going to do. It is a commitment at the end of the day as well. So there's definitely hardship with it and hard work with it that you want to make sure that you're maintaining. So now we're going to stick with ball pythons here. So ball pythons really aren't hard to maintain per se, but they are something that still needs to be maintained, right? I mean, you want to make sure that everything, all their needs are being met. It's a very important thing for sure for any animal really, and you want to make sure that you're maintaining those. And if there's neglect involved or anything like that, that's when it gets kind of messy. In terms of rehoming an animal, there's nothing wrong with rehoming an animal. There should be no shame involved. If you need to rehome an animal, that's totally fine. It's something that needs to happen for the better of the animal itself. If you can't maintain those needs, someone else I'm sure can. So making sure that you get it into the right hands of the right people, that's always the first step as well too. But luckily for these snakes, they lived out even longer a happy, healthy life with the parents while the kids went off to school. All right, so now we're going to fast forward another 17 years now. So now we're at the current time that we are right now. So now the parents are thinking of moving and are beginning to move to another state. So with that being said, they asked their sons, hey, are you able to take care of these snakes? Are you able to take these snakes right now? The sons, unfortunately, at the time are not able to take the snakes. They are starting their own families. It's just not something that they can take on right now. Totally fine. If that's the case, totally fine. So the parents are thinking, well, we don't really want to lug all this stuff all the way down, all the caging, all the stuff down to our new state. We'd rather just rehome the snakes. So that's what they did. And I actually got to know these people a bit beforehand, before I even knew that they had snakes. Then I discovered that they had snakes, and they said, hey, we're thinking of moving. Would you be able to take these guys on for me? And I said, absolutely, of course. I will make sure that I can find these guys a future home, because I said I won't be able to take them on fully because of everything else that I have. It's just not going to fit my bill, but I will make sure that I can find them a proper home and maintain them and give them a good life in between getting to their brand new home. So that's what I exactly did. So we got the one snake off to a brand new home, but now what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this one off to a brand new home, which I think I have lined up, so that's not an issue whatsoever. I'm not reaching out with this video saying, hey, does anyone want this snake? Don't worry about that. The snake will be taken care of. I will find them a proper home regardless of if this plan goes through or if I have to find another plan. So at the end of the day, I will find them a proper home. Don't you worry. But yeah, that's basically what happened. Is I came down to them, I picked up some enclosures, I picked up the animals themselves, and these homeowners were very, very caring about their animal. They're like, oh, let me know when these animals go, and I want to hear updates about them, everything like that. That would be something that I would really, really love, and I told them that I would do that for them. So it's just really cool in this situation that for 27 years these animals were properly maintained for the majority of their life, and they are just, because of life circumstances, just wanting to move on from these guys and wanting to find them a proper home. So through the end of it, they wanted to make sure that they were seen through to see a proper ending for these animals where they reside. So this golden girl right here, no exception. We are going to make sure that she lives out her golden years in a proper home. So this was a very important story and something that actually happens commonly daily with people. So I just wanted to share with you guys this because I've seen it personally myself at pet stores, at reptile shows. Kids come in with their parents and they're like, I really want this snake. So So it's just a really important thing, whether they're getting a snake, a dog, reptile, anything like that, you know, any kind of animal, that everyone is on board with that animal, because it is a lifelong commitment for sure. If you can't take care of it for the lifelong because of life circumstances, there is nothing wrong with rehoming it. That is the way to do it. Don't let the animal get neglected, get into bad shape or anything like that, and then move on from the animal. If you can't maintain it or anything like that, make sure to find it the proper home and care that it needs. That's basically what I wanted to get at with this story, is don't let the animal get into bad shape and neglect the animal before you rehome the animal. Try to get the animal into great hands before anything happens to the animal itself in terms of maintenance, suffering, or anything like that. You want to make sure that this animal lives a proper, healthy life to the best of your ability throughout it, whether you have to rehome it or not. That is always something that should be the goal. So in general, that's something to keep in mind, whether you're a future reptile or pet owner in general, or if you're actually owning reptiles or pets in general right now. I mean, that is always something to keep in mind. I mean, I have tortoises that are going to live 50 plus years, right? I mean, it's something that you always have to keep in mind, because whether life circumstances happen or anything like that, you want to make sure that you have backup plans in place to keep these animals well maintained throughout their whole life, because they rely on you at the end of the day. These are captive bred animals, right? These guys aren't off in Africa right now. They are with you wherever you live right now. So do the right thing, make sure to maintain your animals and keep them up to their proper needs that they need. So there you have it. As a 26-year-old with a 27-year-old golden girl here, I hope you guys enjoyed that little story. I think it's a really cool and neat experience. I'm going to make sure that, like I said, that this girl is well taken care of for the remainder of her life. Hopefully that's for many, many years, huh, girl? Honestly, since she is a golden girl, we should probably call her Betty White. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. But thank you guys so much for sticking around for this story. I hope it meant something to you guys. Definitely keep it in mind in the future, whether you're a future pet owner or if you currently own pets. It's definitely an important story to keep in your mind for sure. So thank you guys again for watching today's video. If you could do me a few favors, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, as well as hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. And also to definitely check me out on my social media. I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, we will see you guys soon. Take care.